With the rising costs of everything and the economy slowing down, do you need a little extra cash for the holidays? Rick Harrison of Pawn Stars says locals are looking for ways to get cash to pay for Christmas or even a home for the holidays.
We're averaging like 1,500 people a day in the store. We do pretty well during Christmas.
From tourists to locals, plenty come to Gold and Silver Pawn Shop, home of the hit show Pawn Stars, to find the right gift.
I have watches, jewelry, I have Picassos, I have every single price range. So I have a little bit of everything.
This holiday season, customers need help to buy the right gift and need to pawn something for cash.
It's the same old stuff. It's the wedding bands. You do hear about a lot of people. I mean, the rents in town have gone insane. A lot of people come in and they're just flabbergasted because their rent just went up $500-600. Some of the gig workers, the price of gas over the past couple of years, that's really dug into everybody.
Harrison says he has seen and heard it all this year.
All right.
And across the country this year, too, taking his show on the road on Pawn Stars Do America. He says forces like the housing market, inflation, and gas prices are squeezing plenty of people for spare cash.
Rural communities where just driving long distances is a fact of life. I mean, it hits people a lot harder. If you live in rural Texas where, to go to the grocery store is 30-40 miles.
If you need some extra cash this holiday, Rick has some advice for you to find buried treasures in your home.
Do you have any of that weird old stuff that that was grandma's or something like that you never used, like silverware? Because I mean, in the 1940s and 50s, people had dinner parties and had this silverware, but no one uses it anymore. Buckle down a little bit if you have to. Hopefully everything will get a little bit better.
And Harrison says every year the shop donates to local toy drives to make sure families don't go without.